In the heart of the gilded city, where every soul chased the glint of coin, there lived a man named Kale. He walked through the crowded streets with nothing but the air in his lungs. His pockets were empty, flapping like the wings of a bird in the afternoon breeze. Yet, as he passed the merchant stalls, his laughter echoed louder than the clinking of silver. The wealthy lords looked down from their high balconies, draped in silks that cost a kingdom. They watched Kale and felt a strange, cold shiver of envy pierce their heavy hearts. They had chests full of jewels and cellars overflowing with wine, yet their faces were etched with the lines of worry. Kale had nothing, yet his skin glowed with peace. One day, a young boy named Leo followed Kale out of the city gates. He wanted to know where the man hidden his treasures, for surely no one could be this happy. Kale stopped by a stream that hummed a song of ancient stones. He knelt down and cupped the water in his hands, drinking as if it were the finest vintage ever bottled. Leo stepped out from the shadows, his brow furrowed in genuine confusion. "Sir," the boy asked, "why do you smile when you have nothing? My father has everything and never laughs." Kale patted the soft earth beside him, inviting the boy to sit. "Your father carries the weight of the world in his pockets," Kale said softly. "I chose to put it down." Kale told him of the years when he too was a master of trade. He had ships that sailed the seven seas and warehouses that touched the very clouds of heaven. But with every coin he gained, his heart grew heavier. He feared the thieves in the night, the storms on the horizon, and the treachery of those he called his friends. "I was a prisoner of my own success," Kale whispered, watching a butterfly land on a wildflower. "I owned the world, but I no longer owned my own time or peace." The boy listened intently as Kale described the night he decided to leave it all behind. He had opened his gates and walked out into the moonlight, carrying only his name. At first, the silence was terrifying. Without the noise of business, he had to face the quiet of his own soul. He realized he didn't know who he truly was. But then the world began to speak to him. He heard the rhythm of the rain and the secret whispers of the leaves. He noticed the colors of the dawn. "When your pockets are full," Kale explained to Leo, "your hands are too busy holding on to things. You cannot reach out to touch the magic of the moment." Leo looked at his own small boots and thought of his room full of toys. He realized he spent more time tidying them than he did playing with his friends. Kale stood up and began to dance a slow, rhythmic step. There was no music but the wind, yet he moved with the grace of a king at a ball. The boy laughed and joined him. For a moment, Leo forgot about the city, his chores, and the expectations of his family. He felt light, like a leaf on a breeze. They spent the afternoon exploring the hills. Kale showed him how to find the sweetest berries and how to tell the time by the position of the golden sun. Kale's smile wasn't just a facial expression, it was an energy that seemed to transform the landscape around him. Even the birds seemed to sing more clearly near him. "Is it hard?" Leo asked as the shadows grew long. "Is it hard to have nothing when everyone else has so much?" Kale looked back at the distant, glowing city. "It is only hard when you compare your path to theirs. If you look at the mountain, you don't complain that the valley is deeper. Both have their place." Kale explained that his empty pockets were actually full of possibilities. Because he had no house, the entire world was his home. Because he had no bed, the stars were his blanket. The boy realized that the man wasn't poor at all. He was the richest man in the world, for he was the only one who truly owned his own mind and spirit. As night fell,
Cale prepared a small bed of ferns. He didn't need locks or keys. He didn't need guards or walls. The forest itself was his protector. Leo had to return to the city, but he felt different. His heart felt lighter, as if he had left a heavy stone on the riverbank with Cale. He returned to his father's house, which now felt smaller and more crowded than before. The gold ornaments on the walls seemed dull and lifeless to his young eyes.
His father was counting coins at a heavy oak table. "Where have you been?" he grumbled, not looking up. "There is work to be done if we are to stay ahead." Leo smiled, a mirror of Cale's own grin. "I was learning how to be rich, father," he said. The father finally looked up, his eyes narrow and confused. Back in the forest, Cale watched the moon rise. He felt the cool night air on his skin and thanked the universe for another day of simple existence. He knew that tomorrow he might be hungry or it might rain, but he also knew that he had the strength to face whatever the morning brought with a smile. The man with empty pockets had discovered the ultimate truth, that the more you give away, the more room you have for the things that truly matter. He didn't need a map to find happiness, for happiness was not a destination. It was the way he walked the path, step by simple step. Years passed, and the story of the man with empty pockets became a legend in the gilded city. Some called him a fool, but many more called him a saint. Leo grew up to be a different kind of leader. He kept only what he needed and used the rest to plant gardens and build libraries for the people. He never forgot the lesson he learned by the stream. He kept his pockets light so his heart could always fly high above the greed of the world. And somewhere far beyond the stone walls and the noise of trade, Cale was still walking, older now, but his smile had only grown deeper and more profound. He was a testament to the power of the soul, a reminder that we are not the things we own, but the love we share and the peace we keep. So if you find yourself feeling heavy, look at your own pockets. Are they full of things you don't need? Are they keeping you from dancing in the rain? Remember the man with empty pockets. Remember that the greatest treasure is not found in a chest, but in the freedom to let go and simply be.